Welcome. This is Arnav Chaudhary. This is my YouTube channel, Arunfoot, and it's December the 24th. Yes, I've been hearing it's been cold outside. It's Christmas. Of you might be celebrating. Merry Christmas to you tonight. And let's talk Indian football once more here on the channel. As always, like, share, and subscribe. Visit my other social medias. Also visit arunfoot.com. So thanks a lot as always for your support, everybody. And yeah, let's talk. Let's discuss. As I say, as always, Indian football, there's always something going on. Things as always are, sometimes difficult to believe. Sometimes it's difficult to think about that they're happening. But Indian football, yeah, in that way, sort of never disappoints, I'd like to say. And, hoping, speaking about things and all those things. So therefore, keep on supporting. Brendan, do you think Reliance helping coaches in Mizoram to level up their coaching skills? I guess the Reliance Foundation is doing that. Again, we've discussed it a few times over the years. I would like to say by now, but now we've discussed it over time. I think it is something where the results will be seen quite some time from now. I think very difficult to be able to judge and say, this has happened, because until these educated or newly educated coaches are producing results, it's going to take time, and therefore that is something which I think most probably will be able to really judge in. Because to me, I think the end result is often very important, and the end result is something which you see down the road. And down the road means that if someone actually makes it as a profession, very often coaches in India don't really, want to do. And I guess your next point is linked to how much is coaching important in football. I mean, quality coaches. It's one of the most important things. At all levels, you need quality coaches to be able to develop talent. Without quality coaches, that is simply just not possible. And that is something which is also, might be something basic, something easy to speak and talk about and say, which one of the many work on in Indian football to improve overall, and that is coaching. If we get the coaching to the right level, then I'm sure, we will produce better players at grassroots, at youth level. We will have better development also of the final product at senior level. And this is a problem. It's an ongoing problem. It's an ongoing struggle. It's an ongoing fight. So therefore, that's something that we need to work on. Do you think we should look for improve our football like Mizoram FA does? Yes and no, because I think there is no one solution. We need to find local solutions. We need to find sometimes regional solutions. We can, in some states, we can even find state-wise or zonal solutions. So it depends on what kind of, there are certain basic, and so for me, it is, that's something which happened. Are we at tier 2 or 3 or 4 team in Asia. I guess at the moment, we are between tier 2 and 3. Between 2 and 3, more 3 than 2, I guess, with the hope that we are 2. So let's see how we do in 2024. Surely, if you ask me, I would say we would rather a tier 3 team than chance of qualifying from our group: India, Hong Kong, Singapore, or Bangladesh. Lose. If I would go by ranking, if I would go by history, if I go by pedigree, forgetting form, forgetting integrating players of origin or naturalizing foreigners, I guess we are the favorites as India. But we've seen what Hong Kong has done, how much better Hong Kong is. On the other side, Singapore, difficult to judge. There is now a newfound hype since Hamza Chaudhary has agreed to play for them. I did a video a few days ago, which got quite a number of views. So thanks a lot for that, guys. More than 2,500. So thanks a lot for that. It is, what are we set to do as India to maintain ourselves to be the favorites? Looks to me, I guess, potentially as an even group. If Manolo can find a little bit of magic in this team and get a little bit more out of our team, then who knows? I guess we should be able to be favorites. Otherwise, Hong Kong, I think, could be a big challenger for India in this group. I feel. I think what East Bengal did different, that they stopped this kind of transition of Northeast. Although I think on that, I think East Bengal have now got a certain setup. United found against Hyderabad it's back its mojo a little bit after some poorer performances in the last few weeks, and East Bengal are much more stable than they were in the weeks, months before that. So that is one thing. Northeast United losing back-to-back matches against East Bengal and Mohun Bagan, so that would be my. Is the pan-India football development is fast in youth development because of logistical issues? I think we should not talk about a pan-India football development. To break it down, on one side, we shouldn't be going to hyper-local, as you say. Yeah, some places you can go. Certain places you have to enhance your catchment areas. In some border states, for example, or border regions, you can even development models. So that's something that can be looked at. And yeah, logistical issues are there. That's why, for example, at grassroots level, at youth level, you need to have good. Only problem I see with local competitions is, let's say you have, 10, 12, 14, 16 teams playing in a youth setup. You have 2 teams qualifying for an interzonal or a zonal or a national level competition, and then you move on. But what happens, let's say, if you've got one good team and you've actually got 2 teams qualifying, good teams, and only two teams moving on. So how do you feature a factor in, because each age group is different, right? Each year is going to be different. So therefore, these are all factors which I see which are not factored in. Might actually, at the national level, lose out on a certain level of talent, and to me that is something, yeah, which where we need to find the best possible solutions, and we still don't have them, right? So therefore, which I'm not sure how that all can be worked around, but there needs to be solutions to that, and that's a huge challenge in my opinion, for which at the moment I don't see any quality answers. Indian national team is, like Gattuso said, I think in most cases, Gattuso's example is a good one, but the problem at the moment is it's not sometimes good, sometimes bad. If I look at 2024, we were more bad than good. That would be my concern, right? Looking at the Blue Tigers, 2024 to me feels like a lost year. And that is something which I would be worried about if I look at the results of this year. We as Indian football fans cannot be happy, and about it last year, said it a number of times. People did not want to believe it at the time, because I felt when I saw India play in the SAF semi-final and final 2023 in Bangalore, yeah, we did win. And I think that was a mentality thing that we won, but there was an issue of quality, and that stage will break through. And that is something which worries me down the road, is about Indian football, right? And that's something which we haven't been able to rectify. And therefore we are where we are. And hopefully we can rectify things, make things better. But it's not going to be easy. The big challenge, and hopefully we can change things for good, and take Indian football in the right direction. But the national team, up and down is fine, but if it's more down than up, then it is a problem, and that's what I feel at the moment. If you ask me, we are more down than up, and we're not really getting any positives out of what happened last year. What do you think about Star as a data analytical system used by Brighton? It's alleged this has outside Avinash from Bangalore FC. About a scouting system that Brighton is using. I didn't know that it's called Star Lizard Data Analytical System, if it is called that. And I also haven't been able to confirm if this Cyrus Abhilash kid has actually been scouted by Brighton. If scout, how did they scout the kid? That would be very interesting for me to understand, because the system has to be working with data. So it's surely it's data analysis, it is scouting, and it's a XYZ kid from an academy, from India or from somewhere else in the world, is talented enough to be scouted by Brighton. So I would like to know what that is. So therefore and the second thing is, for an Indian kid, a minor, to move to the UK, at the moment, there are no opportunities. And so therefore that is something. Important is anticipation in football. Anticipation comes from experience. Either you've got, intuitively you can see and realize and understand things, or you learn it. So so that is something which is there, and which is a key part of football. What do you think about Modi ji with FIFA president? Discussion of PAO for India. Knowledge is everywhere. I haven't seen it. Said Infantino, Modi meet in Kuwait. Any value for Indian football? Um, if you want to watch, I'm just posting the link over here below. And to me, why would they discuss a few days back? Also, I think Sunday someone asked me that. I said, what has the FIFA to do with PIO, OCI? What is the interest of FIFA to tell India to allow PIOs, OCIs to play for us? And secondly, they met in Kuwait. So that's it was not a meeting. It was just a by chance courtesy call of the two sides on the sidelines of the opening of the Arab Gulf Cup. Mr. Modi was there on a state visit. The tournament was being opened. The FIFA, by chance meeting. So from my understanding, it was nothing planned or organized that the two sides met over there. It's good that they met. It's always good that there is some kind of an exchange. But on the other side, I'm not very clear, not very sure. But I think Prime Minister Modi and the Indian government should need to do more for Indian football. I think that's one thing which I do realize. If you've seen the commitment of the government, which is football or sports in general needs much bigger support. And maybe that is a conversation that also the FIFA president has, where there are FIFA programs which are supporting Indian football. It's FIFA Football for Schools, for example, which has started. I haven't heard much. We've got the FIFA AIFF Academy. We've got also FIFA Technical Study Group doing certain programs, coaching, education, other things. So FIFA is doing its side of things. It's now for the Indian government to step up and support the All India Football Federation in a much bigger, I think that is the way forward. And I hope that happens down the road. And that's something that I, as a fan of Indian football, can only request the government to look into, to consider, to help Indian football grow, become bigger, and use football as a soft power. I think that's something which I see. How Africa produces their talents with only limited academies. Then it is about open spaces. I was this morning. I'm I take a German example. The commitment is. I was at a ground and on the sidelines of the grounds, football club organized a pre-Christmas meet, and then you saw the kids playing football, and then at the time when we were leaving, you had each other rather than sitting at home or something. And this is something. Do we have those open spaces where kids can just come and play football? This you have in Africa, you have that in South America, you have in North America, you have that in Europe. This is one thing we need, and it is not about the quality of the academies. It's the will, desire, top class athletes themselves. It's also about talent, and we have numbers, but where is that exceptional Indian talent where you say, what, this player can be Asian class. This player is where our problem lies. And it doesn't matter, you're saying, two theater African countries, it doesn't matter. It is not about academies, it's not about resources, it's not about coaching, it's about the will and desire to play. And then if you're playing, you will be found. And I think that's the thing with kids from Africa who can get an opportunity to play football at different levels, and then the best get to play in Europe, and other kids either play locally or play in other parts of the world, and it's happening day in day out, and I would say very, very impressive to say the least. Do you think India can host another World Cup under 21, 17, anytime again? Out of the question was getting curious. Chinua, it is either under 17 or under 20. I don't think India will host another under 17 World Cup anytime. Theoretically, it is now the under 17 World Cups are going to be played every year. So therefore, there might be an opportunity for India to be hosting those. Yeah, under 20s. Why not? Why not? You know, why not? Why not host it again? And why not also host the AFC Asian Cup, AFC U17, AFC U20 as well? Yeah. So for me, yeah, for me that is something which there needs to be a desire from the AIFFs and from India's perspective to be willing to host competitions, global competitions under FIFA, and that's something, you know, where yeah, what needs to happen. Can you bring Richard Hood and Pradyum ready? Well, I will try. Even if Brighton had identified that kid, but where does Bangalore 15 players? How did they know about this kid? Blues, that's what I would be curious about that. For me, that would be the big question: is how did this kid crop up on their radar? You know, was some scout by any chance in Bangalore looking at the local Bangalore league, under 15 league, and found this kid and said, you know what, we need to look at him. I don't know, guys, out of the blue again, I've not heard anything concrete. It was more of a social media story, I feel, so far. Even BFC came out and denied any knowledge of the whole thing. So therefore, maybe it's a story on social media, and there's no truth in it. And so therefore, yeah, would be lovely. As far as Abhilash is considered to be academy, even though I don't see how he gets into the academy because of certain restrictions and certain rules. But it would be great for Indian football that, you know, that our kids are being at least seen somewhere. So yeah, let's wait and see, and let's see if this boy actually makes it as a pro. Problem in footy. Well, I think we have a problem in Indian sports in general, and the desire and willingness actually of those leaderships, even if with the political backing, to do the right things to take Indian football forward. I think that is a big concern in my opinion, and those things need to change for us to be able. It's not happening at the moment. Therefore, for me, we are where we are, and things are not easy. Things are tough, and things need to improve and progress, and that's a challenge. That's a huge challenge, and yeah, one has to wait and see how we can make it possible to fulfill, you know. And football is something which has been, of course, also politicized. So those are things that are there, and to me, what happens. Is Reliance a blessing in disguise for our footy? They do more to football more than some state affairs. I don't know if Reliance is a blessing, or it's not a blessing. Again, we have to take all of it into account. If I see Reliance Industries, if I see what FSDL is doing with the ISL, with the AIFF, if I look at then the Reliance Foundation part, you know, so therefore for me, I don't know. I'm mixed, because, you know, even with the resources that Reliance is now putting in at grassroots and youth level, are they able to produce better talent? My end product is the question. If you have an academy, what is your end product? Is your end product an India level player, an Asian level player, or a world level player? and we've never produced world level players. Let's be very, very clear about that. Have we produced Asian level? Yeah, I don't. Hi Raj, have you seen Ankit Chaturvedi playing? If yes, does he deserve national team call up? I have. I don't even know who this player is. Who's Ankit Chaturvedi? Should I be knowing him? Who's he? Shivan, I don't think he's going to Brighton. Maybe there is some exchange program. He goes to train there for a few days, but I don't see an Indian player being allowed to train properly in Europe. Do you think FSDL will renew their contract with the AIFF? A very interesting question to which I sadly have no answer. It is something which yes could happen, but on the other side we might not see. So therefore, I'm not sure what to expect. I feel at the moment there's no clarity on the matter. Let's be very clear on it, and we have to wait and see. And the FF has now been trying to work together with Shachi Sports, their own app, SSEN. They're broadcasting not only the I League but also the Santosh Trophy, the senior women's nationals. Not clear where the path of the FF is on this matter, and it'll be interesting to see how they work this out. The future of the ISL depends on what the AIFF does with and I've said it multiple times over the last few months, where I'm pumping the money that Reliance has is pumping in at the moment. Those are all factors which need to be looked at. Sorry, Ayushman Chaturvedi. No, I've not seen him play. I don't know what level he plays, and again, the level he most probably plays, does he deserve a national? And I don't think so. If he was that good, people would have been speaking about him in Europe, would have not heard people speak about him. So no. Ambani's have good relationship with the Kalyan Chaube's party. I think it is possible. And what relations they have with which party or not, that's out of the question. Here it is about the AIFF and FSDL, and there are issues and problems that have cropped up and there, and if they are not sorted, who knows, then that relationship will that is something which I think a lot of people don't realize is an open honest potential danger for Indian football, that the contract might not be renewed. So therefore, this is something which we should need to keep in mind. And it's not what I think, what you think. It is about what these guys themselves think and what these guys think that they can work out. And that's a challenge between FSDL and Reliance. And let's wait and see how what happens. Hi Sanskar, I hope you're doing fine as well, and welcome to the Indian football discussion. Nearly already half an hour on this Christmas Eve. It's 24th of December, which of course here in Germany is the more important evening. So tonight somebody's gathering together and having a dinner together, exchanging gifts, presents, and so therefore, I'm looking forward to a little later this evening. And as I said, nearly half an hour gone. If you're new to the channel on YouTube, if you like what you're seeing, do leave a like behind, share it with other people. We've got 8 likes so far tonight. And if you want to subscribe to this channel, please do. We're now at 2,025 subscribers. Thank you very much for that. And mark last week. So slowly we're growing. And also do watch the shorter videos that I make on a regular basis. yeah, thank you for your support as always. Yeah, let's try and take Indian football today. I did a video on the question of tops of the ISL, yesterday on Prime Minister Modi meeting the FIFA president. So do watch these videos and do support the channel. As always, thank you for your support. And yeah, let's grow. Let's try and do things together to try and influence Indian football in the best possible way. So thank you very much. As always, like, share, subscribe. Sanskar is asking, think Mumbai City will change any foreign Indian player or remain same player? Sanskar, I think a lot depends on injuries at the moment, or in the 3 players missing. I think Peter Krafke very openly said on Saturday that some of the injuries need to be assessed and then looked at and thought about. I guess the main one is going to be the question of Jeremy Manzoro. Is it a serious injury with ACL and he's out for the season? So he will have to be replaced. The other question is how good, how fit is Ron Toral to play? What is the injury status of Tair Kroma as well? So those are questions around those players. I think potentially a defensive Indian midfielder and a potentially an Indian striker, maybe right and a left back as well. So therefore, yeah, there are positions that Mumbai City could be looking for players. Are they going to find it in the market? I think that's the big question. That's the challenge I think that Mumbai City has to find those players. Yeah, that I think would be tough at the moment, if you ask me, for Mumbai City to find those players that they want, that they need, that they require to be able to change things for good. But at the moment, I think there will be an effort from management of Mumbai City to make changes to the squad, who they can bring in, who they will bring in, who they will, so therefore, yeah, we'll have to wait and see what they do. Injury, Mumbai City, and this season, also last season, it was Noguera, El Khayati, Iker, Goruchena, all was injured. This season, Toral, Manzoro, Kroma is injured. Same story, repeat every season. Yeah. This coincidence or anything? Yeah, I think it's a coincidence. You cannot do anything about it. That's a match injury. Tair Kroma is an injury which happened in training, but again, still that's a thing. John Tonal, yeah, it's could be questioned, of course, because his injury. But again, it's something which the team, the club has to work around. And I think what hurt Mumbai City a lot is that Apuya left, and amongst others, Vineet Rai couldn't be retained. So that's something the coach at the moment doesn't seem to, as a potential tryout, as a holding six, as an Indian holding six to play with Yoel van Neef. But good to see was that in the last few matches, we've seen Brandon and Vikram slowly picking up some steam, playing better, being more influential. And also hopefully, yeah, things happen. Defensive side looks fine. If Nikolaos Karelis can be amongst the goals, then who knows? As I say, I told someone yesterday, I think Mumbai City, if they had in the recent weeks, if they continue these results that they've had in the recent weeks, so therefore, that's something which is a reality. If Apuya leaves before Vineet Rai, then Peter would not let Vineet Rai leave. That's a fact. I think Vineet Rai wanted to play, and Mumbai City then in the summer said, you know what, we're allowing you to leave, and they allowed him to leave, and he went to Punjab FC. And if Apuya had gone earlier, I would have gotten quite a bit of opportunities in Mumbai City, and therefore that's something which happens. Akash Mishra at some stage hopefully will come back from injury. That's another thing. Nathan has done okay for himself, but Akash Mishra still is an upgrade to that. Mumbai City needs to get through this phase. But again, get through this phase is good because they're not playing the most exciting football. They're not this. It's not the Mumbai City DNA at the moment. But there's one part of the DNA which is important, which they're keeping, and that is the most important thing. To me, that Mumbai City are winning their matches, are winning their games, and that makes, I think, a huge difference in the mentality of the squad. They're getting better and better. Interesting also to see Purva Lachempa being benched and TP Ranesh coming on, and TP, despite that one blunder, Daniel Chimachuku scored that offside goal. I think Mumbai City are doing okay. Nicolas Karelis, I feel last season Carlos Montes means score goals but miss also goals. Sanskar, that's the life of us. I think there's no striker in the world who's perfect. So therefore, to me, and he's missed some good ones. Mumbai City, I think, is still leading the stats of having missed the most big chances, big opportunities. So it shows, they're creating chances, but the defensive setup is strong. Tiri with a very, very good season so far. Mehtab Singh having a solid campaign so far. Valpuya has had some matches where I think so Nathan has come up. So yeah, Mumbai City is done okay on that front. So if you see that again, 20 points after 12 games, 10 in the last 4. So yeah, it's okay. It's okay. It could have been better because there have been losses which were not necessary. But for most important thing was to get results. They've been getting results, and that's something which is working for the team. So therefore, for me, very, very clearly, it's something which is very, very important, and hopefully, they can move up from here with better results. Purva is benched or injured. Please clear. He simply saying, he's not. There is no injury. The coach felt that he needed to make a change, and and he decided or thought that it would be better for him to play with TP Ranesh. It's worked. That's why the coach has gone with it. So yeah. So therefore, that happens. Sometimes coaches, for some inner feeling or reason, decide to switch keepers, and in this case, it is that he's done that. And yeah, let's wait and see if it sticks or if it comes back into the starting 11 or not. Last season, also Carlos Martinez, if scored that he missed goals, then SEO will remain top, and now same thing happens. I don't agree to that fully. I think at the start he was firing, then that changed the complexion of FC Goa. Surely Carlos Martinez missed goals, but I don't think that FC Goa still would have remained top if we had scored more goals. And again, it's there in the Indian system who will say, I've got a 70-80% strike rate. Most of the strikers have, I don't know, score between 30 and 50% of their opportunities. I think more 30 than 50. So that's also a reality. I've seen TP Ranesh in Jamshedpur. He's better than Purva. I would rate Purva keeper. He's just going through a phase, I think. I think he'll come back stronger, and that's what he needs to showcase, highlight, play, and to me, that's what he needs to do as a player. And therefore, again, if the coach has this opportunity of having these two coaches, I think that's a bonus, and that's an opportunity for the coach to try out things, to play around with things, which gives him the chance to test players. If you've got alternatives, if you've got options, that is making a difference at the moment for Mumbai City. And yeah, the results are there. It's not the best football, but the results are coming, and that's, I think, what counts at the moment for Mumbai City at this time of this part of the season. At the moment, it's about the grind, and if you can get through the grind, so slowly get better results. Also, in the sense of not only just 1-0, but maybe 2-0, 3-0, 3-1s, or whatever, and get back maybe even to the 4-0s, which you had a lot in the last 2-3 years under Des and under Peter. Yeah, so let's see. Versus East Bengal type FC Goa draw last season, which game was dominated by Goa but not score a single goal, missed so many chances in that Carlos Martinez. Sanskar, that's football, right? There are matches, even this season, you'll have matches where you say, oh, this team missed chances, that team missed chances. It is part and parcel of the game. You win some, you lose some, you score some, you miss some. That is part of parcel of the reality of football. That will automatically happen, and that is something which is not always easy. But I think the teams perspective play their best and get the best result, and be it you sometimes happens, sometimes doesn't happen. We've seen a lot of games now where teams played well, dominated, were leading, and suddenly another team comes and turns around the game. Who would have thought yesterday? In a game, 11-12 minutes, 2-0 against Northeast United, and Northeast coming out of that form that Northeast United were in, that they could win 5-2 and maybe even have scored 2-3 more goals in that game, right? So therefore, football is sometimes not logically explainable. Just keep that in mind, that when teams score or don't score. Can India qualify for this Asian Cup? Oh, Devosh. Let's put it this way. I would wish that we qualify. We need to qualify from this group. It is not an easy group. It's a very tricky composition in my opinion. Look at the kind of players that Hong Kong has brought in. On one side, look at Hamza Chaudhry and the hype around him in Bangladesh at the moment. And you see what they are. It's like their own messiahs, their own Messi, who's come in, and they're hoping that he can turn things around. So that's one. Singapore to add to that, but Manolo needs to sort the team out, needs to get the results. The trial and error period is over from March onwards next year in those 6 qualifying matches. September, October, November, it's about winning. Hi, Onavada, wie geht's? Rushabh, mir geht's gut. I'm doing fine. That's the question. Wie geht's means how you doing. Hope you're doing well and good. Mumbai City FC score only 1 goal versus 3 teams. Is it good or bad news for Mumbai City FC? What's your view on that? To me, Sanskar, it's not the number of goals which count. It's the end result which counts, right? And from that perspective, and I said that earlier, I said Mumbai City is going through a rather difficult phase. So for me, I take those 10 points from the last 4 matches. And that is something which I think is very, very important for Mumbai City. If I look at that 0-3 loss to Punjab, that was less than a month ago on the 20th. And the way Mumbai City lost to Punjab, you thought, a lot of people thought the season is over. And I said, this team still has it in it, right? That day, Punjab was clearly better. They deservedly won. Can't say anything about it. But then what we saw win against Hyderabad. Then Mumbai had to travel to high-flying Odisha, drew 0-0. Then went to Kolkata. Again, another hard-fought 1-0 win against Mohammedan Sporting. And then on Saturday, the 1-0 against Chennai, where you say, in the first half, Mumbai City should have sorted the game. They didn't. Look at that as a reality. That is, I think, the challenge that Mumbai City has at the moment, is trying to get the right result at the right level and improve. Again, no goals conceded in the last 4 matches. I think that's the big positive after conceding 3 against Punjab at home. Home the Mumbai football a stronghold. And so to me, I think it's good. The results are good news because Mumbai City has won the last 4 games and has not conceded a goal. So therefore, rather defensive stability than high-scoring matches. What could be the minimum number of wins to top our group? Debosh, I think you would need most probably 4 wins. I think 12, 13, 12, 13 points most probably would be needed to win this group. Your reasons as to why Nikhil Prabhu should be in national team, do you think he's ready for international level? What makes him able for national over other players? I think that he's not ready for international football. To me, I think Nikhil got exposed the other day in the match. He pushed back into defense after the Novoselic injury and the Lumding sending off. Because one thing we need to realize with a lot of our players, I said that why do they look better than when the foreigner next to them or in front of them or behind them play, right? And Mehtab Singh looks good at Mumbai City because he's got Tiri next to him, who gives him, or Yuval Fanif in front of him. And therefore, I feel Nikhil needs at least this season to be more consistent, to be sometimes also clearer in his game. But overall, he's done well for himself. Punjab have done well for themselves. But again, we now see Punjab against Mohun Bagan, foreign centre back. Novoselic is out. Lumding is out. That will be a real test, not only for Nikhil Prabhu, but for Vinit Rai, for Suresh Mite, for all these guys, that we've talked about. But Nikhil is playing in we have an Apuya in form, we have Suresh in form, we had Vibin. Let's see how bad the injury is and how long he's out. We still have Jackson, so there are options. Mr. Fafo, thank you. From my side, also Merry Christmas to you and everybody who's watching and listening, maybe even afterwards. Merry Christmas around the world. May these times be a little calmer and quieter and peaceful for all of us around the world. Manipur, they are doing great. What about men's? Are they winning the Suns Trophy one? Sambit, the women's exceptional. I think the 23rd title in the 29th edition. So therefore, Manipur has been, is, and will most probably be the leading team in women's football. That is one thing which is there. The men might not win it. Let's see who wins the Santosh Trophy. Rushabh says, I hope AIFF will arrange friendlies before each qualifier game. We need it badly considering Bangladesh's Hamza. Sure, one player can't make the difference, but still they'll be a difficult opponent. Agree. Let's see. So therefore, let's see what the AIFF does, and let's see what happens in March. Wise defense saved in all 3 matches, but how many times defense will save us and versus big team, just like Goa, Mohun Bagan. I'm saying, Sanskar, defense is winning this at the moment, and Mumbai City's defense is good enough to sustain Mohun Bagan, to sustain FC Goa, to sustain BFC, Odisha. That's the problem. Let's see. I think at the moment, take the results. Northeast is going to be another interesting test. Let's see how that match plays out. Because if Northeast on their day, if they get going, they can score goals. But Mumbai City is also, again, very important was that Brandon was better in the last game. That's an important improvement of Vikram. So therefore, it is moving ahead in the right direction. The main one, I think, is Changte needs to get back to form. And if Changte gets back to form, I think Karelis also gets more opportunities to score. So that's the other thing. He's been doing a lot of dirty work for his team. I think that's been forgotten. And let's see. What went wrong from 2023 to 2024? I think 2023 was a good year for our football. The same set of players, suddenly so much downfall. Why? Debosh, I wouldn't say there was so much of downfall. I think in 2023, this team overperformed to some extent, had luck on their side. I think when you win two penalties in the SAF semi-final and final, because there's the luck factor in there, and in 2024 luck wasn't on our side on one side. On the other side, the team, it was tougher competition. It is a tri-nation intercontinental cup is not the same thing as the AFC Asian Cup by no means and ways, and the FIFA World Cup qualifiers. So 2023 were soft matches compared to the ones in 2024, and so that's the reality. Or there would be top security when national team goes to Bangladesh. In Bangladesh, there wasn't day by day, plus they have luxury of origin players. There would be things thrown going. XYZ, it's the same thing could be said, if you just turn it around by someone from Bangladesh. It's the security aspect is something which is the duty of the hosting nation, and therefore and therefore that is something for the Indian government and for the AIFF to ensure. For I would hope that there is no untoward incidents, nobody provokes things in any way in both countries to create trouble or stir trouble. How services in Tantra make such a good team? Sambit, to me, is an amateur, so so for them, they pull in the players who play for services teams across India, and that seems to be good enough to be able to compete with the state associations. Raj, he's at Mohun Bagan. Where should he be? He's with Mohun Bagan and he's been playing on and off. Brandon Changte, no need to last season. Nekas Karelis Toral not played in top expectation of proper Indian or foreign backup striker. This is main reason we're not scoring that much goal. We are not. No, I don't. The problem has been the way we've been playing overall and the setup. And it's not just the attacking line. I think it starts with defensive midfield. So to me, the backup striker, I agree. There is no proper Indian backup good enough. At least the times that I've seen him. So I hope Ayush Chikara can be that different striker if he's forced to come on. And Changte and Brandon need to be better, and Karelis needs to be better in front of goal when he gets his chances, and Toral needs to be just fit. I mean, Toral is a great footballer. 23 was a scam. Shaji made a big blunder renewing Stamage's contract. We built a momentum beating off lower ranked nations. Lebanon didn't play their best team, and when they did, we got exposed. Yeah. Rishabh, I said I would have not even renewed the contract earlier. So yeah. But anyway, that's gone. Let's not go back into the past. Should McCartan and Sanjay, to me, not good enough at the moment. Needs to regularly play, needs to regularly perform. He's in a position where there are options. I don't think he's national team material. Hope after this Asian Cup qualifiers, we aren't left in another big muddle. We are already in the biggest hole in world football. Don't want to fall down more. Hope on. XYZ. It's him. It's the AIFF need to work on things. Need to rectify things. It's not easy. but they need to do those things. Otherwise, we're not moving in the right direction. That's my concern. Concerned with the AIFF and with Indian football, and at the moment, it's not. It's not going in the right direction, and that's something which I don't know. We need to be better. We need to be clearer, and that's something which I don't know. We need to be working in that right direction. As you say, and Manolo is going to be the key person. Did you work with AIFF, and yes, what was your work? On different things, on short-term projects for the AIFF many years back. I had them with with their media work. I organized tours, I've managed teams for them. We got to match venues. So yeah, different things. Is PM in way to allow OCI soon after Infantino meet? No, Sanjay. I don't know where is this whole conversation of that PIO, OCI, and Prime Minister Modi. Where does this come from? Because that is not, to me, that is not a topic of the FIFA president. It is an internal Indian topic between the AIFF and the government of. Why should FIFA? This is not a FIFA topic. FIFA governs the world football. FIFA's role is not to go and tell the Indian government, you know what, allow players of origin to play for you, for your national team to be better. That's not their job. That's not their role. MacArthur, yes, I don't see him at the moment. Do you think the drinks break in ISL is unnecessary? In my opinion, it ruins the momentum of the game, and we're not even in summer season to have it in the first place. Rushabh, you have to differentiate between what is summer and what is not summer. FIFA allows you in general to say of 25 degrees, you can have a drinks break. So that's one. In Delhi, for example, drinks break doesn't make sense, is honest. But for most of the rest of the country, it actually does. In Mumbai, it's still around about 30 degrees, in Goa, and in Kerala, in Bangalore, in Chennai, in Hyderabad, in Odisha, in Kolkata, it's around 25 degrees. So in that way, the drinks break is something, there is this legitimacy of the drinks break in the ISL. East Bengal fans hyping PV Vishnu up like they did with Mahesh last season. Won't be surprised if he becomes the second. And I said that last year itself. No, not national team. If he's national team material, that speaks about how bad our national team actually is. Sorry to say that. Manveer is best player this season till now in terms of Indian player. Agree or not? I've not thought about who's been the best Indian player, Sanskar. I don't know. Most probably one of the defenders would come in regard to being the best Indian per se. Not sure who would be, but yeah, most right. Or Manveer, yeah, if you took Manveer, then Sunil comes into the mix, Sandesh comes into the mix, Mehtab Singh comes into the mix, interestingly. Yeah, those would be the players. The way we are falling, don't want years of efforts of Stevens helping our rank along as to that playing round 2 go waste. If we keep this, we might be back to playing round 1 of World Cup qualifiers. Yeah, but XYZ at the moment, the realities are the realities, and then we are where we are. Yeah, so I said that. I told you guys that, and in my opinion, we need to do a lot more to try and rectify things, and we're not getting where we need to, right? So that's something which which I think is worrying, and we need to hope that Manolo finds certain things with this team to be better in the AFC Asian Cup qualifiers going into next year, and that we qualify for 2027. If we don't qualify for 2027, it will be interesting. FA, there's some other FA was wrong than AIFF. There are many federations around the world who are much worse than the AIFF. Despite all the things that the AIFF is not doing right, the AIFF is by far not the worst. There are much worse. But this topic is making rounds in social media. But Sanjay, yeah, it's making rounds on social media, but it's a non-starter. People can discuss. This is one of the problems I have. Things right. There's someone starts a discussion on a topic or says, you know what, they spoke about this, and like, who told you that? Where do you have the info from? Do you know what these gentlemen spoke to? I mean, I've spoken to people I know at FIFA and very close, and I know what these gentlemen spoke about. And PIOCI is not a topic for the FIFA president. And anyone who thinks that, doesn't understand football. Sorry to say that. Why would they discuss it? The FIFA president will go, oh, you know what, Mr. Modi, your national team is not good at the moment. You need to allow players of origin. Do you think that is the way the FIFA president is going to go to Mr. Modi? I just think, guys, every one of you is intelligent, right? So use your intelligence, use your brain, and not just tag along to these topics on social media where people make, this is whatever, blah, blah. Or there are people who speculate, who don't know anything. So as with generally with news and information, be careful what are your sources. Look, I can remind you again, against Vietnam, I felt we were quite good up until our mark, and then our players' fitness level looked awful. Yeah, were we okay? Tick-tock, right? But again, Vietnam at the moment is also not in the best of those comparisons. Yeah. And if we fall in round one, the port 4-5 countries of them, they're all become quite strong. Cambodia, Pakistan, Sri Lanka will be embarrassingly difficult. Yeah. Edmund and London Fila so far this season. I've seen little of London Fila, so I can't judge him. Edmund looks good. Could be taking the next step under Senor Habas, and that's good news for Indian football if he plays regularly and improves. Be a best player, take best winger. Then is it best winger till now only Indian player? Noah. A few weeks ago, I would have most probably said Jitin, but Jitin MS has not played well. I would have said over the last 2-3 matches. Yeah, I wouldn't be able to tell you anyone who's been better than that way. If you want to take that logic, it's been the best so far. Your picks for national team is strange, opting out best performance. Opting out best performance. I'm not opting out best performance. I am going by what I think is right, who can play at international level. And I take it out for myself that I have traveled, stayed, worked national teams. So I believe I have a little understanding on who I think is of quality or not. And I go back always what Bob Houghton used to tell me. If the best performer at national level might be useless at international level. That Bob Houghton in his time never peaked because he thought that, and look, not only Bob has not picked certain players. Steven did not pick certain players. Igor Stimac has not picked certain players. Because the best performers are not always the right ones for international football. That is what you need to understand. A good coach, a good manager at national team level, when he understands who is capable of playing international football, right? And and our best performers, today's best performer, is going to be our worst in 3 weeks. Why are we talking in December about who should be playing for the national team? So who we wanted in September, we'll make a list of who we wanted in October. We'll make a list of who we wanted in November. We'll make a list in December, Jan, Feb, and then let's see who plays in March. Because no one in this whole list would have played well in that, right? International experience counts. This is basics. Basics. And a lot of people want, P. Vishnu was just mentioned, 2-3 good matches and hey, you know what, he needs to play for national team. No. He's nowhere near the national team. He's not even close to national team level. That is the understanding that needs to be there. Which young Indian player caught your eye this season till now? Saurav, honestly, none. Tell me that Indian standout young player that you say, okay, I wanna see a little bit. Most probably I would say Isaac, but I liked Isaac last season itself. But does he still fall under young players? But otherwise, difficult to say. Who do you think will play in left wing for the national team? Lose 3 months away. Next 3 months. This is part of the problem. We are talking at Christmas what will play at Easter. Just to stay in this sort of, it makes no sense to have that discussion now. I take Jitin MS as my current example. Jitin MS was one of the best performers at the start of the ISL this season. Where's Jitin MS at the moment? People went gaga last season about Parthiv Gogoi, right? Parthiv Gogoi came on, right? But he's been hot and cold. Jay Gupta, people wanted him in the national team last year. Jay Gupta doesn't even get a start left to go at the moment. So this is what I'm just saying. This is again to what Sanjay, you're saying my picks are strange. No, my picks are logical. Your picks are mean. Sorry. Because XYZ said it best. One lucky dribble, people go crazy. That is the problem at the moment. People don't want to understand what is international level football. Again, first we need to understand our football is that is the first problem. We are not good enough. So we need to figure out which player can cope with international football. And I go back. This is something which Bob Houghton taught me multiple times in his time. He said, listen, I remember we watched a Calcutta Football League match. People mentioned a couple of names. This guy, that guy needs to. And Bob Houghton didn't say anything in the media. But he said to me afterwards, do they understand that the CFL standard and the national team standard is here? It doesn't match up. That is what you guys need to understand is, who is national team material, who is national team capable playing for the Indian national team. Very difficult. And yes, I am conservative in my approach. I'd rather pick someone where I know what I'm going to get rather than risking someone because I want to see someone perform for a year or two before that person gets picked. Right? Can you tell us the coaches you had in mind you wanted to coach national teams? And I have a few in mind. Someone we are satisfied with. As a big some names. No, XYZ, I think it's unfair on Manolo and also on the coaches who names that I should put out. That's why, again, don't want to open sort of a Pandora's box. Starting a new discussion. Oh, you know what? Someone wanted this guy or that guy, whatever guy to play for us. No, I'm not gonna do that. Sorry. India will allow OCI once they lose their dominance, and SAF acts as a saving grace for FF. Losing there as well may finally force Government of India to finally include OCI. So if you ask me, your thought process is, from your standpoint, is logical. But does the Government of India care about football enough? Does it care about sports? Right? If I understood in his official statement, I think the Prime Minister of India didn't know that there are FIFA for football for schools programs running in India, though. Just to give you an example, they don't care. And this is not a new phenomenon. The top brass of Indian politics has not cared about football for a while. That is if PIOs, OCIs could have been done, it could have been done under Das Munshi, it could have been done under Praful Patel. They were central government ministers themselves. They didn't do it. Kalyan Chaube is in the BJP. What happened to the OCI task force? Well, the list that he has is a list that I actually made. And someone in my name put it to the AIFF. Right? So, what are we talking about? What are we talking about? Now, just to get beaten by SAF, they would have done it before and performed on Asian stage and take the praise. They won't do, they don't care. Yeah, that's my problem. If we're talking about being disgraced, the Government of India would have acted last summer. So therefore, that is something which could be done, should be done, but hasn't been done. And we are there, therefore, because these things are not done. And it's, in my opinion, it's a huge concern. We're not, Are you watching Arabian Gulf Cup? Shumolo, no. I have not watched any. I wouldn't even know where to watch it here in Germany. No, I've not watched anything of it. Any development of FSDL contract, Rushabh, nothing as such, no conversations, nothing has happened. I think, I don't think, let's put it this way, I hope that the conversations will start in the first. I don't know. As I say, I don't know. But I would hope that conversation between FSDL and AIFF start to see how they could renew the contract. Issues majority youngsters, because of technical deficiency, are one-dimensional. They get their initial success, but once they get exposed. Very good explanation, Zorawar, yeah. But that can be, and yeah, it's the surprise element, I guess, is also there. Yeah, which you're very, very right. So to me, very important that we figure out a way how to work around these things. And yeah, my biggest concern at the moment is that we've got XYZ wingers, right? I think we could name 20 wingers who we could potentially say could be playing for the national team. Why do I say, for example, Chante? Because I've seen other players as well win 14, 15, but none of them, let's say the under-17 World Cup squad, I didn't see a player of the caliber of Chante in that squad. And I've seen them at 15, 16, 17, 14, 15, 16, 17 here in Germany. And then I saw them, let's say, as Indian Arab. They are not of that level. So the question is, why can't he perform at that level? And consistency is a talent. So we talk about talent as well. So all of these things are interlinked, right? And that is something, that is my problem. When Jitin was in hot form, you didn't take. Now he's out of form and you're saying he's not fit for national team. Sanjay, he was picked when he was in form. He had his 2 good months, right? He was picked, and since then he's disappeared. Since giving his debut, you know. So that is something which you need to understand. A player of, and there are players who play in the ISL these days who should not be anywhere near the ISL. Our standards sometimes are so legally in the ISL, who should not be even playing in the I League. Which then speaks about why I say that when I did the video a few weeks ago and asked the question, what is the right size of the ISL? I said, actually, in my opinion, it should be 10 teams. Otherwise, if we're going to go to 14, to 15, to 16 teams, allowing a fifth foreigner to play. Because otherwise, the drop of standard, we're seeing it this season. Hyderabad jumbled up a team together. It's not working. Mohammedan Sporting, not working. They have a smaller league, but a competitive league, and where our Indian players are playing on a regular basis and are challenged, rather than just, again, all these steps are not helping in our development process. And these players get exposed. Remember, Nufal played those few opener of the ISL. And people said, you know what, this guy needs to be playing in the national team. You can interchange all of them. Even if they want to allow a country law, that's what I'm saying, the laws need to be changed or amended rather, not changed. Let's be honest, PIO's OCI will not just improve us in football, heck, it will give us a push in every single sport. We will get more medals in Olympics. Yeah, Rishabh, exactly. So if the government was seriously interested, then they would do these things. Do you think fans had negative experience for continued periodless hope? Instead of cheering, they start to abuse them and roast them. How do you see it? See, the point is here at the end of the day, yes, fans have had bad experiences. Fans have had experiences which you don't like when it comes to the Indian national football team. It has been on, it has been off. It's a difficult one from that perspective, I would say, because the fans are important to support the team. Criticize the players, criticize the management of your clubs, but in some way, yeah, the players on the other side need to live with that criticism or that abuse sometimes. But that's the reality. I think you have to grow thick skin. Arnav, I agree with you that ISL international football standards are totally different. But my question is, should we select the players who are not even performing in ISL? No, Raj, you shouldn't. But the point is that one needs to figure out, are they good enough to be able to play international football? And that's the job of the national team coach, to make that judgment, to make that call. Right? And I think that fans will have their thoughts, their ideas, So that's the thing. Just for the sake of experience playing for national team, no, it's not about sake of experience. It is international experience counts, right? Wasn't it people saying Rahul Beke, Lord, this, that shouldn't be playing? I think Rahul Beke has been one of our best defenders. That's how much football understanding there is amongst fans. Sorry to say that, guys. And those with experience, with knowledge, with understanding, yeah, that's it. Did some calculations. It might sound insane, but hear me out. If AIFF were run, they'll be needing a huge sponsor. And if they do, they can run ISL, but yeah, clubs will still make losses. But Rishabh, who's going to sponsor? Where is that sponsor? Makes no sense. People don't realize how much of um, money is needed to organize and run the Indian Super League, right? If that money goes out, people look at, let's say, the 50 crores that the AIFF get from Reliance, right? That's one portion. But people forget how much of money to run the Indian Super League year on year. And where are those big sponsors? Since Hero has gone, no one's come forward. Can we say the best U17 team we produced last 2002, that team had something special? Fire did we had striker problems back then? Yeah. Yeah, U17 was mm, I would say 2002 would have been the best year. And striker problem, no. That team had something about it. If Chaube regime goes away, someone with competence comes in, maybe they can run ISO with FSDL. No, they can't. I think that's your thought process mistake, Rishabh. Who's going to give you that X crores to run the ISL? I think people forget how much of money Reliance has spent on Indian football in the last 14 years. Not everything has been done right. That's a different kind of discussion. It's yeah. If you ask me, for example, if you say, "Oh, now you run the AIFF without Reliance," no chance. Why would someone give me money? Who am I that if I was running the AIFF, to people give me money? Right? No, it's not about people with competence, with understanding and structure. This is something which is coming in and try and build something with it. That is something, that's the opportunity that Indian football has had in the last 15 years and 14 years since Reliance has come in. It's not taken it to the next level. That's the sad part. Was Oliver Kahn farewell match on the Bayern team racist towards India? Why some bits? Why are you saying that? I don't know. Why are you saying that? I'm hearing this for the first time. You made the list. What that means, AFS contact you through the third parties. You don't know what to say. We don't even care to do some research themselves. I've been having a list for the last, it's a simple Excel database which I have, getting inputs from people, and yes, that is not even through third party. It was a direct contact. But again, they didn't do anything with it. So yeah, what's the use? The howler of Bhaskar Roy against Karabasa C is a perfect example. No, so however, I wouldn't say quality, because Bhaskar in that game did show some quality. I think what Bhaskar showed in that game was decision making, or generally the problem of Indian goalkeeping. I mean, I actually did a video a few days ago on that, where I actually asked 8 days ago, does Indian football have a goalkeeper problem? Because Bhaskar is, forget Bhaskar, Bhaskar Roy is not amongst the top 5, top 10 goalkeepers in, right? But these problems are now, I mean, he punches the ball this way and afterwards he does another punch and that ball actually goes forward, right? So he knows how to do it. So my question is, why doesn't, he's got space, there's no one, why doesn't he catch the ball? He just has to catch, grab and chest, done. So I don't know. Yeah, Bhaskar Roy Howler is a perfect example of incompetence. His player, which is in top level, using his funds using it. Yeah, morally all country players of origin, they either are naturalizing or using players of origin. I think most countries do it around the world in any sport. Any instance you find Indian football zero understand of football, very often I find that. Again, I sometimes feel I'm talking to walls, to stones, to I don't know who, lack of knowledge and understanding. very often when it comes to Indian football. Sorry, it might sound arrogant, but that's very often. The older I get, the more I feel that. I had that feeling when I was younger also, but now with age, I can say that's the biggest problem. Knowledge, understanding of football is basics understanding of football, and also understanding where the lacks are, and understanding of what needs to be rectified. The desire, the will to rectify what are wrong. That is where Indian football is struggling the most, in my opinion. We are not moving in the right direction, because if we don't do the right thing, take Indian football in the right direction. That is where we are struggling at the moment, the most, in my opinion. That is where we are sort of, facing the problems. If FSDL doesn't renew contract, does it mean the end of Indian football? No, Zarabal. If FSDL, it's not the end of Indian football. It might be the end of the ISL, but that will not be the end of it. Indian football somehow or the other will survive, but we will be thrown back 15, 20 years. I've said that multiple times. I think most people don't understand it. I mean, I made a video, I don't know when. When did I make that video? Let me go back. When I asked that question, right, about AIFF and FSDL. But again, and I've spoken to key people in both organizations, right? There's been no interest to the matter. That is something which I then find worrying. And that's something where I say is like, when and where are we heading, right? And that's something, it was quite a while back, I realized, right? So therefore, these are, it's something in regard to AIFF and Indian football, and nothing is happening. The government doesn't have that iron vision, that imaginary wall. That's a security threat, which I'm not denying. It is there in some way, but they can easily overcome that visions in the process. I think is an easy way out of not doing things. Right? It is, for example, someone as for foreigners or for an OCI peer on short-term stays in India to actually get an Indian mobile number, right? So, which is the most normal thing in most parts of the world. So yeah, that's where it is, and I don't know. It is a simple process. In my opinion, it's a simple process that can be sorted, that can be solved very easily, but there needs to be a desire to do it. That desire, the lack of will, these things are, makes me angry. Can we say if win consistently can attract sponsor or no one interested in it? Sponsors, I don't know where those sponsors are. I don't know if winning easily can make that thing happen. They're making fouls on Indian players and getting nasty. So what is in a friendly that is for you racism Sunday? I know you're talking about that Brazilian, I forgot his name, and Branco Cardoso, where both got sent off. Stupidity from both players. But where does the racism come? I don't think the English FA runs the Premier League or German FA runs the Bundesliga from, XYZ, correctly. It's an independent body which does. Fans involving in violence when team loses match, how do you see? A no-go, morally. Anywhere in the world, non-starter can never be an answer to your team losing, or even, let's say, to a wrong decision from a referee. One will hate it, but we'll all have to live with it. Ranjit Bajaj once said in an interview he was part of U17 team back in 2000s. Is there any truth in this? He even claimed to play against Park game on under 17 squad sheet. I wouldn't know. Maybe he was, but I've never seen it, so I can't say anything on that. Foreign coaches said even a good player put under pressure, we don't know what to do. Yeah, what are players? Hypothetically speaking, if Arsenal manages to get attendances like 2014, do you think clubs and FSDL would start to make some money or at least reduce losses? No. I don't. Bigger crowds. The only thing which can change it would be massive viewership on television, because that would potentially bring you television rights. How many people come to the grounds? A full stadium is a nice picture, but it's not going to get you the money that you need. And therefore, for me, Rushabh, the most important thing is we need numbers. Yeah. So yeah, that's that. Do you find certain time fans have more ambitious of team development than the system or lack of interest? To win, want their teams to win, beat the national team, beat the club sides. What happens around them? Very often they're not interested, right? We've had this, right? We discussed it that again, Mohun Bagan's secretary said, we don't care about grassroots and about youth football, right? If Mohun Bagan fans cared about football, right, they would be up in arms. Mohun Bagan is, the National Club of India. We should be investing massively in grassroots and youth football. Where is that call for that? There wasn't, right? So that's something that who contacted you? What was your reaction? If it was genuine, was it like, I've seen this in my times happening, I also saw this video you made with others after the news broke? XYZ, I'm not going to say who did call me, contact me, and I am free to pass on that. I don't have any expectation from them to do something with it, and exactly they didn't do anything. I don't have any expectations from the AIFF or from the government. And I've reached out to the AIFF, to the government myself in the past. So therefore, if something happens, I would be very, very happy. If nothing happens, I'm sadly not surprised anymore, because it's gone. Expect anything from the AIFF. I do not expect anything from the Indian national team. It is, as I love to say, that I have hope, but I don't have anything else left. And it becomes sarcasm, it becomes cynical, because this is where we are in the year 2024 when we talk. This is something which you younger folks will go through. Again, don't stop supporting Indian football. That's my big request to always to you. But also know who's talking. There are people who are talking, oh, I am the savior of Indian football, I have done this, I have done that. No, you guys are exactly part of the problem of, so that is the point. That is the point, that people are subjective in their opinions. People are subjective in what they like or what they don't like, what they do or what they don't do. And this needs to change. But as long as these things cannot progress, that is where we are stuck at the moment. That is where we are struggling at the moment, And this is, where I don't know. I don't know when things will change for good. I don't know when things will go in the right direction. We are not moving as Indian football at the moment. And it starts at the top with the AIFF. It continues with all the stakeholders, all the big talk. It continues with the media. It continues with social influences. It continues with the fans also. Because the fans today, again, is a good example. We're talking about FIFA, Prime Minister Modi. Oh, they should have been talking about OCI PIOs. Why? Think. So that is. Do you think certain people were not put in proper way? No, Murali, I even question the capabilities nowadays. If you are again, obscure countries are producing world-class players. We have not produced 25 years. Right? What are we talking about? That is my question. How do you see Serbia in world football? Talented team, Partizan and Red Star Belgrade. Yeah, that's what Serbia football is to me. When I recall Kalyan Chobi's statement establishing an academy of goalkeepers, I'm forced to think he understands because in football when it comes to implementing things, I don't know what happens to him. What's the value of a goalkeeper academy? Does a goal is this an individual sport? I've heard even people wanting a strikers academy. So the problem here is to me at the end of the day, I can give extra sessions to the keepers to try and improve them. But setting up a goalkeeper, a standalone goalkeeper, what are you going to do? Just trying to train goalkeepers? What the goalkeeper is useless without the rest of the players. So if you can't understand that, you are not qualified. Like, that's the problem. Do you think Rafael Varane pace may different from other or decision making? Morally. Varane, good decision making, but also pace. I wouldn't know what would be the difference maker for him. Because when he said those things, no one was talking about goalkeepers. Raj, but a goalkeeper academy. Yeah. After 2014, attendance and hype was all because of marquee signings. What's your take? See, in 2014, I was involved. Was it Mumbai City at the time? Of course, I had Freddie Ljungberg, Niklas Anelka in our team. And I remember when we traveled at the start of this season, it was all about Freddie and about Nico. So, yeah, to some extent about Manuel Friedrich, of course, as well. But it was about after the first home game, which we won 5-0 against Pune City. People were wanting photos and autographs from Indian players, from Shubhadar Pal, from Subhash Singh, from a Nadong Bhutia. So, yes, it was built around these legends of the game, these aging legends, as has been done in other parts of the world. But also the marketing spend in the first season that Star Sports spent, that each individual franchise spent was insane, was crazy. So from that perspective, to me, it was always something where I'd say there is a value of having a marquee player because stars. But your bottom line is that marquee player, is he going to be playing enough? Yeah. And over the years, that marketing spend, be it from the league, be it from the broadcaster, be it from, has been reduced to a bare minimum. And it's mainly social media. Certain time in football, everything put in proper alignment, success doesn't guarantee. In the case of China, money spent crazy. Yeah, money is not, again, as I say, money is not your factor. Standing implementation and sometimes even a little bit of luck here and there. Well said, I was abused when I raised the same question against Mohun Bagan fans. So rather, they will not accept it. It doesn't matter if it's Mohun Bagan fans, it is East Bengal fans, if it's Blasters fans, if they, other fan groups will not be willing to understand this and take this. By the way, on our non-football news, Ulhas Kias become first Indian basketball player to play in Serbia top division. Don't know if he is PIO, but great thing for Indian basketball. Okay, lovely. I don't know where is he? Would be interested to know where is he from. Do you think fans are easily manipulated with their limited knowledge? Yes, Murali. That's what the whole conversation today is about. That's part of our biggest problem. The fans think to know, yeah, and they don't. And that is hurting us overall in the long run. That is our biggest problem. ISL as a product fails to attract European football fans. I mean, it's not that bad. I've made some folks see ISL by taking them into stadium, but yeah, convincing those folks is hell of a task. Yeah, Rishabh, see, and I said this the other day, right? Oh no, sorry, yesterday we were discussing, right? Someone was trying to say that Yunmin Song is not a top class winger. And then I said, very simply, if you watch players regularly on television, it is not the same if you watch something, right? And therefore, the Premier League, the Bundesliga, La Liga, Champions League, Euros, on television, it mostly looks great. I watched a few matches of the Euros this year. I watched some matches where I thought, I don't want to watch these games. They were that bad, involving even the European champions. So therefore, it is as it is. PFC in big trouble if they can't manage to fit Nova, as he's the leader in backline. Arnav, Novoselic is out. He's not going to play day after tomorrow. I remember people making hyper about India winning Gothia Cup. If we win the Dollars Cup, we can say big success. No, it's not. What are we winning in Gothia Cup? We're winning, I don't know, the E division of the Gothia Cup. Great. Who plays? The Gothia Cup is a grassroots tournament. It's not an elite tournament, right? Our priorities need to be right. We are sold stories and narratives. It doesn't work. I'm not saying we need goalkeeper cut. I'm just saying that you could see a goalkeeper are not good enough. At that time, I used to hear from many of us that we have good enough goalkeepers. Raj, those who say we have good enough goalkeepers don't. Sorry. Kalyan Chobe is a former goalkeeper himself, national team goalkeeper himself. He knows a little bit about that. At least that he knows, right? So anyone with a little bit of understanding, even in a prime, even with Shubhatapal, even with goalkeepers, that world-class goalkeeper, we've got goalkeepers who will save us some, but we don't have world-class goalkeepers. We don't have world-class players in any position. So that's our biggest problem. They have MRF Pace Foundation, it's fast bowlers, academy similar. See, your cricket to work on individual things is relatively easy, right? But in India, let's say, what of Iceland? Let's take Iceland as an example, right? Iceland, 300,000 plus people, right? If Iceland say, listen, you know what, we're going to have a goalkeepers academy once a month, you come together in Reykjavik and we train you. That is theoretically possible for the best goalkeepers in a certain age group. Strikers. But from an Indian perspective, I mean, the strikers academies, no, you need to do specialized training with these guys. And that can only happen mainly either in the academies that they're training, either at the training, even at the worst case in the national team. You can try and get some together and work a little bit. Academy makes no sense. Special sessions, yes, but academies makes no sense. Be it for goalkeepers, be it for strikers, defenders, or midfielders, or whatever you want to do. If we do the right things, not only the stuff we dream would happen, things in the sense fall in place when we do the right things, luck, product of hard work. Yeah. Another thing that I've realized with Indian football is that we love to do jugaad, right? That's something which in India we love. And with jugaad, things will happen and it's not bringing us forward. So that's part of the challenge at the moment, in my opinion. That's part of the challenge at the moment where we need to recognize what we can, what we need to do to make Indian football better. And that's something which is not easy, which is tough, but we're quite a bit off on a number of things. And again, with players, with officials, with the whole system, yeah, there's a lot of work that needs to be done. And that's the challenge behind Indian football. Any movement you felt Indian football brainwashed? See, I wouldn't say brainwashed. I think that people get away with things. And therefore, yeah, we have to speak with Kalyan Chobe to allow OCI player to represent India. Ranger, lovely thought. Great, go and speak to him. But what is he going to? What can he do? Also, no, that's what XYZ is saying. What will Kalyan do? It's in our legislation. We need to change our laws, pass the bill in Parliament. Could be rejected. Yeah. The problem, but I think there are other ways, and this and that and everything to work around to do things, right? Bangladesh worked years, the BFF and the government together to convince Hamza Chaudhry to take up Bangladesh citizenship to play for Bangladesh. That is the reality. And that is something, we're not doing. Our government is not showing any interest on these things, and that is hurting us in the long run. This season, I've been in almost every game. I feel a lot of Indian players is making slower than foreigners. I mean, even 2-3 seconds makes so much difference, right? Rushabh, our players are getting exposed. The quality of in the last 10 years, that is very, very clear. But on the other side, our players, our basics are not good enough. With Hamza joining Bangladesh, will it make that team that strong? They already have Jamal and a few other Diaspora players. I don't think Hamza. I think he is that difference player. I've seen him play for Leicester. I think a couple of times live. Am I right? Yeah, I think once or twice I've seen him live. And he can be that player. He can be that player for Bangladesh, because it's not just about him. I think if he brings, he can lift up that team, and that's my fear that Bangladesh, with all that hype and everything that's going around him, that might they actually are from a standard perspective, and that's something which does worry me. Which does worry me from seeing where we are at the moment. It's a big worry. That's something. Right, before I go to the next thing, already 1 hour 48 minutes nearly on this Christmas Eve is closing. It's 7:04 p.m. in Germany. If you haven't, do leave a like. If you've liked the video, if you like a discussion that we're having here, 12 likes so far today only. We've had 25, 26 over the last couple of days. Also leave a subscription. We've actually lost a subscriber today. Wow, 2024, guys. So I think we can do better. Those of you who haven't subscribed, do that. And let's grow the community as always. And also watch the shorter videos. Again, yes, they made a video on where I explained what was the topics of discussion of that. Did a video today on the 6-spot race in the ISL yesterday, day before yesterday, about the League Shield race. Of course, something about Hamza Chaudhry was done. Thangbo Singto fired, Mikel Store sacked, I-League where it's the source, and as always, thanks for your support. Do you know what fans can do to take OCI players? Ranger, I think it is, you need to speak about it, raise the topic on social media. That's the, that's something that you can do. But more looks difficult. I think the people who know, who are in charge, they need to be doing things. Do you think a missing player like Robin Singh was good, powerful shot, physique made him different? Yeah, we need something like Robin missing. Iceland brought UEFA A and B licensed coaches to train their 5-6-year-olds. In India, some random uncle teaches their kids who doesn't even understand football. See, that random uncle who teaches the kids is something which happens in a lot of grassroots football around the world. It happens here in Europe. It happens in North America. It happens around the world. That's how you start football. But at some stage, then mostly young guys in their late teens, early 20s or mid-20s who want to be proper coaches who then start working with the kids. So that's not the problem. But the problem is that they had a plan, right? Bangladesh has always given us tough matches. With the addition of Hamza, makes it tougher considering we would lose. Yeah, Rishabh, that's a danger. Gaurav Mangi Singh was my difference. Mangi was a solid defender, solid centre back, no nonsense, was dangerous with his head as well, mentality monster. Yeah, those were the things that Mangi. I saw the documentary Football Change in Iceland. It's quite inspiring. Yeah, it is. And it's something where you realize that a country is willing to make forced changes to its system to enable a sport of football to grow. I mean, there was the story that Iceland was playing and 30,000 Icelanders were, so I think it was France 2016, which meant that like 10% of their population was in France at that moment, right? Insane stories. So we've had these stories in football. To take OCI player, all fans of Indian football should make a noise to government. 100% Ranger. But the point is, that has been done many times over the last two plus decades. And nothing has changed. That is the concern. That is my concern where we stand today, where we are today. Yeah, that's where we are. And yeah, this is something, it's not just the government. I think even locally, go to your local politician to raise that topic, that someone asked, maybe a local politician asked this topic in parliament, in question time, that this question is asked. What are we doing to integrate players of origin into sports teams? That's a question that a parliamentarian needs to ask the government. How teams like Iran, South Korea are able to hang around top European teams, the quality is so big in AFC and UEFA, it is the pace at which they play, knowing when to foul or tackle. I know these elite Asian teams got 2-3. Should be quick work for Germany, Portugal, and Spain. No, they're not, because look at the South Koreans. They have a very good development system. Look at Japan. They've got a very good development system in place. On the other side, when we talk about Iran is always an anomaly because Iran is, politically we know where it stands. But they also have players of origin coming back to play for Iran. Ashkan Dejaga, I remember, under 21 Euro champion with Germany, and later on he went on to play for Iran. So the best Iranian players play in Europe. Started in the 90s with Ali Day and Karim Bagheri playing in Arminia Bielefeld and then at Bayern Munich. So therefore, that is a reality, and that's why they can be a problem for the Europeans. So, yeah, or South Americans or teams from anywhere in the world. Can we say Randy Singh term we had good replacement compared to the race? Yeah. If Randy was good, Miranda could come in, right? And there's no drop in standard. We've been talking about wingers today, where my question would be, we have to find better players. Or no, my observation would be, right? They had better defender, but it is, people say these players were better. Yeah. Mangi, and the old Anwar Ali, Deepak Mondal, Mahesh Goli, different game. Even Deepak and Mahesh were not tall, right? But they were better. And that's something where difference is Iceland has a government which cares about sports, unlike India, where politicians don't speak of sports when a player has achieved something and quickly comes in to take credit. Agree. Robert, perfectly said. And that's the problem. That is the problem. Indian policymaker only cares about vote bank. Yeah, sure. Sad. These are, you guys are adding up the realities of where Indian sports stands because of politicians. And that is something which is, that is the worrying part, that we are not moving in the right direction. We're unable to move in the right direction because we don't see the right direction. Now, that's the problem. Our politicians, do they actually care about vote banks? I think they care about themselves. And again, we are generalizing a lot here, but there needs to be an opportunity to change things, and that's sadly not happening. And that's my concern at the moment with sports in India, that if we want to change, if we want to improve things, um, certain things need to happen, and therefore we are where we are, and we need to change things. So therefore, yeah, it's um, which then makes us question, should we host Olympics winning 3 medals? XYZ, to me, the answer is no. That's the right question. So yeah, that's the thing. It's another again, even football is a failure for the Chinese, right? But look at, they got more medals than the United States. So they've done things for sports. We have Bangladeshi media already started market value comparison between India and Bangladesh squad. Shumo, if I would add up the market value, the real market value of our players, and compare it to Hamza Chaudhary is most probably is more worth than the whole Indian national team. That would be the scary part. Just to put a perspective of a player who's an established English league, established Premier League player, maybe I won't say, but he's an established English league player between Premier League and Championship. Right? He has a quality that none of our players have. Period. So, yeah. Countries which performs top level, the government cares something about them, but India, power hungry, when sometimes wins, we celebrate, one day hero forgot them. Yeah. Very well said, Murali. You know? So, it's sure, yeah. That's most likely to happen, but again, tell that to the government of India. You said goalkeeping academy not good. How does Ajax Manchester Academy of Football? They have goalkeeper training. They have special training sessions. They have individual sessions, which for players. Indian cricket survived only because it's a private managed body. Had it been government owned, its fate would have been the same as other sports. Zoravar, all bodies are privately managed. None of them are managed by the government. Every sporting federation is an independent body. AIFF is an independent body. Hamza had some connection with India as well. I saw in one Bangladeshi news channel. Okay, what could you say? What that was? Was it? I mean, it's his Bangladesh. Does the mom have some roots to some family members who are now in West Bengal or something? Or what is that? Would like to know if you remember what the story was. Right, nearly 2 hours, guys, on Christmas Eve, slowly coming towards the end of this law on things. Yeah, it's some of it is just disappointing. I think it's unnecessary. It's not needed, I feel, but it sadly is the way it is. I would say that let's hope we can and yeah, it's things need to change. See, cricket sucks because Western countries don't have interest in cricket. Yeah, maybe. I find the country which has strong sports culture, most, not all, right? Not all. I mean, somewhere the other, all these South origin players have some ancestral connection to India. Maybe, maybe not. Yeah. So, curious question, one thing about India, Germany growing up, has it taught you? Another day, not in the frame of mind to answer that question today. Today we've drifted so far into this football thing about this, that nearly 2 hours of conversations. But I hope somewhere. That's what I'm saying. We need to grow the community. We need to get more people involved. Get more people involved. That's the thing. Let's um, uh, yeah, it is. And as you say, another sad day ends. Fine, thank you. Hope you're doing fine as well. What do you think teams like Punjab do, who doing good in youth level in U17 and U15, which is team of outside players, where clubs of Kolkata for at least U15, 17 have local players? Shreyam, to me, it doesn't matter if it's a local player or not a local player because they're Indians, right? And if a kid from Manipur or Mizoram, Haryana, J&K is better, gets into Punjab Academy, that's great. So therefore, it's regionalism in football in India will not help us to move forward. That's one thing. And to say that from a Bengal perspective is a joke in itself, because Bengal has won most Santosh trophies in the 90s and 2000s that I saw because of outstation players. Right? So, I don't know. Do you see any hope in the coming year with respect to important players? My hope would be that things in the AIFF get better. I think the first question is in regard to the constitution. That's one big year. I think whatever happens, because we need to qualify for the AIFF station. The quality of players is going down, and we discussed that today. I think that's quite visible. The Indian players are not up to the mark, and if someone plays good for one or two matches, people hype them up, and they should be playing tomorrow in the national team, which is disastrous in my opinion. It's not helping. And the ISL first year needs to stay. So 2025 is a tricky year for us. For Indian football, it is a tricky year. My expectation for 2025 a lot. Let's wait and see. Christmas special podcast, 2K subscribers, anything lined up? I want to do something. Let's see. I'm trying to do something tomorrow. Let's see if I can do it. Line up something. Yeah, maybe doing something on the topic of players of Indian origin and of foreign-based players and other things. Trying to do something. Also with the Hamza Chaudhary story a little bit more. Trying to get some friends from the UK to come and join us. Let's see if I can do that tomorrow. That works. It matters to me why the Northeast clubs have Punjabi players, Kerala players and youth teams. Because Punjabi players and Kerala players don't go. Northeast players are willing to travel. The Bengali players, the Kerala players, the Goan players, they don't want to travel out. Right? So, do you think Baichung would run again for presidency AIFF? No clue. No clue. Baichung is same as let's see, so I don't know. I think state-wise, if you want to do better, promote local talent, why Kerala is doing better, you find 50% local. I don't know if that's the way forward, Shyam. Local players have to, at the top level, you have to be amongst the best, right? And we're at the moment. Because this is you indirectly wanting some sort of informal quota system that, listen, players from my state should be playing. No. The Northeast is producing more than enough good players, then there are academies. And not go to extents to try and become professional footballers, which other players don't want to do from other states. When I was in Round West Punjab, when we did our first ever trials, we gave 7 days notice that we're doing a trial. And this news was passed on not only via social media, but at the time leaflets and other things locally in Punjab. 80% of kids who came to the trials were from the Northeast. So I need to have also that commitment from those kids to be willing to try to become a professional. And that commitment I have more from Northeastern kids than from. That's my experience over the last 25, 6 years, you know? And let's see if Bengal can produce better players, they have to work at the grassroots level first. But if you look at them, you're saying under 15, under 17 is more. Are they actually then under 15, under 17? That's another question, which we would have to discuss. Consistency is something Indian players lack, and us fans are responsible for hyping every Joe who plays one good match here and there. Mark, that is our biggest problem. You play one good match and people think, wow, you're world class. No. Right? You dribble past, someone said today, you dribble past someone and then people think you're great. No, you're not. And that is something that is hurting us a lot at the moment, and that's not taking us forwards. Can you bring any diaspora player like Yandanda in your podcast one day? Zorawar, I have spoken to a few. I've done already a podcast last year with Sean Hundal, the striker in Canada who used to play Inter Miami reserves. Was last season with Vancouver. Last season was with Valor FC. The season before was with Vancouver FC in Canada. Just let me see if I can find it. Yeah, did an interview with him. So if you want to watch that back, that's an interview. Posted the link here. Yeah. So that's it. Northeast are producing the best players in South region. What about comparing them with Asia? Marcelinho, Fernand of Indonesia, Asian talent, Arif Ayman, Faizulev. We are not producing it. To me, the closest that we most probably have produced in the last 10 years to an Asian level player, most probably is Lalinzwala Changte. But Changte to me, did a mistake, I think, that in 2019 didn't sign for Viking Stavanger when he got him in the trial. So who knows where he could have been. But you saw when he moved from Chennai to Mumbai City that he's moved not only 1, but 2, 3, 4, 5 steps up. So therefore, career planning for our boys is also important. Can you do a podcast with Sunil Chetri? Mayank, requests for podcasts. Let me see. I have to do a few. Wanted to do, but have not had the time. Sorry, guys, due to traveling and all that stuff and irregularities, trying to keep my schedule together. And I will certainly do some interviews, and then those would be surely those. And wow, 2 hours and 8 minutes plus, so over 120 minutes, 128 minutes tonight, Christmas Eve. Still need to go to Christmas dinner, guys. Thanks once again. I don't want to end on a bad note. To where the podcast, again, work. Even today I worked. Thanks again, as always, for your support. I don't want to end on a negative note. I think let's be hopeful. Again, I am the little or now over the last 26 years, nearly now 27 years. I will try and do the little that I can to change things for good. And I hope I have your support. That's why we need to grow this foot community. I need your help. We need to grow this. We need to have more people joining these conversations, and then making it bigger. I need an arm. I need you guys as my army, as my backup, to try and change things that I say. Listen, I have got people behind me who are of the same changes. When I next go and meet the ministry people, when I go and meet Kalyan, when I meet the AIFF, I say, listen, people are behind me to want this change. This is what I need you guys to do, and therefore I need your support. We need to grow the community to be able to influence things in a positive way. I know a lot of people say I've got a track record, I've done my things. As I don't, BS in that way. So therefore, I need your support as always. Like this video, share these videos. I hope it's informative for you. It is educational learning for certain others. We need to get more people to come in and join in our conversations, because only then can we have numbers, and that I need your help for that. So please spread it and share it with the right people who might be interested. Christmas dinner, yummy steak? No, Christmas dinner is going to be always potato salad and some sort of sausages. And yeah, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, mine to you as well. From the ministry to the best we can crowdfund. No, it's not about crowdfunding. So it's not for me. If I've done it on, listen, if I look at what I've spent on Indian football over the last 25, 26 years, I most probably could run an I-League team for a few years, maybe even fund an ISL team. I'm not even adding the work hours into it, right? So that we need more people to understand what is going wrong and what we need to rectify, and that those conversations we need to create on social media. We need to push, and then I can go and say, listen, there are people who are thinking this way. We were trying to do things, and maybe one day they will change things. I will continue to improve Indian football. I've done that over the years. I did that last time around when we were about to get banned. Tried to explain to people, listen, FIFA is going to ban us, and people didn't listen, and we got banned. People laughed in my face, and those people are some of the heroes that are there on social media. But listen, I will continue my work also. When the roadmap was being done for Indian football, that I got involved with FIFA, or rather FIFA and AFC. AFC got me involved in the project, and I helped them to do it. I will do my things. So therefore, let's try and change things for good. Things are not good. Things are worse today than they were 2-3 years back. Yes, I think that the old AIFF wasn't perfect, but it was far from perfect, but they knew how to keep the system alive. We are halfway into the season, and where are our youth leagues? I don't see them. So these are our problems. This needs to be changed. We need to change. We need to be the change. And therefore, I call on you guys, support me, and let's jointly change Indian football for good. It will take time. It will not happen, AIFF needs someone like Jay Shah rather than a football administrator who can make things work. Yeah. But you need an administrator, but you need also me. Good evening, first of all. Without that, we are not moving in the right direction. And that is my concern with Indian football at the moment. We need to move in the right direction to make the changes, to make the push in the right direction to be able to change Indian football for good. That is my concern. And therefore, I need your support, guys. We need to move in the right direction. This tonight. Tomorrow, I'm trying to do a little bit of a special of a live to speak about, to do something on PIOs, OCIs, and maybe a UK look on things about people who work in the UK who have the knowledge of. Let's see if it works out. And as I said, I'll be back tomorrow. Do watch the short videos that I make on a daily basis. There's a lot of information on it. I think a lot of you are listening to conversation on social medias. Do listen to these videos. I think, for example, Modi explained that in that video. Watch it, spread it out to people so they understand. Like this video, share this video, subscribe to this channel if you haven't, or get people to subscribe, and let's grow. Thanks a lot as always. As you say, XYZ, very well way to end. There's always light at the end of the tunnel. They've announced the Youth League, but in the past, the Youth League used to start in October, November. So that's the thing. Good night from me. This was a longer one, but I'll be back tomorrow. Catch you guys. Good night.